Hey, this time it's coffee. This time it's coffee. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about murder. Well, actually, not murder. Crows. I want to talk about crows. We'll talk about them when we come back.
Welcome Arts Games. Welcome Arts Games. Welcome Arts Games. Hoorah!
And we're back. So, when I say we're going to talk about crows, I had a goal. When I retired, I wanted to have a crow friend. I really did. So I wanted him to bring me shiny objects and, terrorize the neighborhood and sit on a tree and scream at the dog and just cause mayhem. I thought that would be so much fun. But it hasn't happened. But I'm an artist and I don't give up. I also know that I can make my own friends. So I drew a bunch of crows for a paper miniature set, which was Extrastellar Set 21. Set 21. Now, Extrastellar is a line of paper miniatures that I've made that is sort of science fiction based, but it's sort of a retro sci-fi. It's sort of science fiction that is sort of 70s and 80s and 90s based. So if you think of Battle Beyond the Stars or Buck Rogers or that sort of thing, that's kind of what I mean by Extrastellar. There are some parts of it that maybe are more modern. I know I have a whole homage to Aliens, but I mean, come on, Alien came out in the 70s. Okay, so that's retro. Okay, that's vintage science fiction. So I really enjoy the Extrastellar line. It's got a lot of things in it. It's a broad spectrum of things. There's sort of a cyberpunk wing to it. There's sort of a space opera wing. There's gritty space truckers. It's a big line, all right? And so, you can take a look and see all of the variety, the rainbow of science fiction that is Extrastellar on my drive-through role-playing page. There's a lot there. There's a lot there to pick from. I had these crows. So in set 21 of Extrastellar, I had a lot of different alien types. And one of the alien types that I was drawing was sort of had these long beaks, like very long. And I think I was kind of inspired by, a raven's beak, because it's longer than a crow. It really is. But I mean, they're sort of chunky and crow-like, as opposed to the more majestic raven. And I was just very interested in creating a fun drawing, and so I sort of ended up having them look like they were in sort of army fatigues, and some had helmets with a clip strapped to it, and some had hats. They had a light on them, so it meant that they were working at night or in some sort of night operation, or maybe tunnels, or I don't know. So I had a lot of fun kind of designing them, and I was thinking, well, I've got to arm them with something. They look kind of like military units. So I had a lot of different choices, and I sort of ended up giving them some small arms, and kind of left it at that. And there was quite a few of them. So there was one row that were just crows. That was 6 miniatures out of the 24 in the set. So I had a good collection of minis. All right, and they, as I said, they look kind of military-like, but at the same time, very science fiction. They're obviously aliens. They've got on the back of backpacks. They're on some sort of expedition. They got big old army boots, which I think is kind of fun. So I had a character there. He's with a blaster. This guy's got the Schmeiser. I don't know why. Sort of 1930s machine gun, submachine gun. But I thought it kind of suited the chunkiness. Kind of suited the characters. This guy's got a kind of a science fiction-y shotgun type weapon, short range, and this guy's got a machete. Kind of made me think of him, as patrolling through jungles and stuff like that. And another guy this guy's got the helmet with the clip, but he's also got a blaster. Okay, and I've got images over here as well. But I just want to kind of show you these because they give you the kind of the scale of the miniature. Anyway, so what I did with my new Patreon, my new Paper Miniature Patreon, I have a monthly mod section. So I make modifications to existing sets or existing characters and put out a page of paper miniatures. In this case, for the first one, I'm still taken by these crows. I still think they're pretty decent. And so what I did was I made a set. I expanded it a bit. And I thought, well, kind of what we need. Well, we need kind of a technician. So I have a guy here with a wrench of some kind to kind of, maybe fix the engines or like repair something, kind of an engineer character. And he's got a pretty cool helmet too. Anyway, and you'll notice on the helmets they have little lights. Okay, this guy here, just again with the blaster, but he looks like he's like maybe kind of shifty. He's a little shifty, maybe sneaky. He likes to sneak around. And this guy is similar as well to that shifty guy, but just a different pose, which I think is important. Wow. Especially if you have like a couple of these, maybe scouts, people that are going ahead. This guy, who looks like he's kind of screeching, that crows will screech, okay? Kind of like the way he looks. And another one that's sort of advancing or checking something out, peeking around a corner. But then I thought, I kind of need some heavy weapons. So I thought about World War I with those big, the big Vickers machine guns. And I put a couple guys like this who are, just kind of barely holding these things up. But they look pretty heavy duty and like they could do some damage anyway. So here's the other guy that's carrying that. And I have these straps that are they're holding them on with, which would kind of make a lot of sense, right? And on the back. I think it's important, I had mentioned this before, to have front and back art. And just for those who haven't seen my How I Make Paper Miniatures video, go take a look at it now. But I think I really feel it adds a sense of legitimacy and importance to the miniature, and I think it just creates a better experience to see the front and back of a miniature. I draw the miniatures backs digitally for the most part, so just in case you're wondering, how do I do that? I also have this rocket launcher guy. Now, I drew this rocket launcher separately a while ago, and I was going to use it for another project, but I just put it in this guy's hands. He's not even holding it properly. He's just kind of lugging it around. But I kind of wanted to include some heavier weapons again. So if I have a drop ship coming down after them with full of robots, this guy could sit on the hill and stop it. Okay. Again, just another guy here. They kind of look like working Joes. They to me they kind of just, they look like they've seen things, This guy here, I kind of like the way he's holding this machine. Maybe he's a drone operator. Maybe he has a communicator here or a sensor or some sort, like a tricorder or something. And again, another guy with a sort of a 1930s submachine gun, a Schmeiser type gun, kind of, just kind of a guard or running around or. Anyway, I was happy with the way they turned out. So on my Patreon, every month there is a modification of an existing set or part of a set, and I thought those 6 miniatures from the Extrastellar set kind of inspired me. But to be fair, and I want to be transparent, I just drew something with a beak, and it kind of added other parts to it, and the sort of Vietnam era GI look also kind of came into that as well. And I thought, well, they kind of look like a little task force of a little fire team, and that's how it came together. It was very organic. Okay, and as you can see by these pictures here that I've been taking, they fit into a science fiction setting really well, and I think that they add a lot of character and interest to that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about with the crows. You can find them, the initial 6, in Extrastellar 21. 21, is it 21? Yep. And that's on Drive-Thru Role Playing, the link below. And you can find the mods by joining up with the Patreon. They're Patreon exclusive. They're not going to be released other than that. And that's the nice thing about the mods. That's how they're going to go. That's how they're going to go. And you can find them on my Paper Miniature Patreon as well. I'm still thinking I might do a little booklet with them, or an adventure or something. I don't know what for. I was thinking initially Cepheus engine, as I said, but that could get modified. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If there's any other mods you'd like to see of paper miniatures that I've made, I'd be open to that. I always appreciate suggestions. Thanks very much for following, and don't forget to smash that like button. Okay? Anyway, see you later. Toodaloo!